What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and right now we're going to be talking about some of the biggest mistakes that a lot of you guys have been making in Madden 22 Ultimate Team, and it's something that I've been thinking about a long time ago. Probably for Madden 23, we're going to start this off early. Once we know for certain what's going on, we have to make sure that that message is put out very, very plainly to the community, because a lot of crazy stuff goes on in the game, and yes, I'm going to experiment, all right? But I want you guys to understand a couple things. There are things that are generally just broken in every Madden game. It wasn't as bad and obvious. Going back to like 15, prior to 16, a lot of things that were like bugs were easily fixed just by us as a community. With the exception of the QB walk in Madden 09, we were able to kind of self-contain. All of that has changed, all right? So one of the things I want to show you guys to make sure you guys understand is this, right? You don't want to experiment with any of the regular cards that are scramblers, all right? So what does that mean? Okay, what is this, Bo Jackson? Okay, those are the auctions. What are the ones? Okay, hold up. No, these are my auctions. So it's over here. I'm about to go back to the bids. I'm like, yo, why isn't he over there? Because I just raid sold him a little bit earlier. So that's the actual running back. Where is the quarterback? That guy is garbage. I'm trying to find that guy real quick. He should be someplace over here. Okay, so there he is. All right, so some of you guys are going to be asking, like, all right, so they can't, okay, you can't even actually look at him right there. All right, shout out to EA Sports. That's still a bug in the game where it just kicks you out of the whole thing right away when you're trying to look at something or compare it. Shout out to the EA dev team, bro. You guys really, really just know exactly what's going on in the world. But look, that's besides the point. I'm going to go ahead and show you really quickly that he was sold, and this is a big mistake that people have been making, and we need to stop making it, all right? Number one, okay, you have to understand, EA has gone out of their way to make escape artists like obsolete. So what we did earlier, where we try to look at a scrambler and see what's going on with it, check escape artists and see if we can work with not having abilities on the other players. Let me just tell you this, bro. The things that happened in the game that I played with Bo Jackson is not something I want to talk about. Pretty much like, dude, they just took me from behind and that was it. No date, no McDonald's, no nothing. I got taken from behind. All right. Now, on a Raiders theme team, he's 99 speed, 97 throw power, and I think he's like a Gen 3 release. The problem is he's not a golden ticket, so he doesn't get the possible gunslinger for 4. He doesn't have that slot. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to do is I want to bring it up so you guys can actually see what's going on, because I'm going to tell you, even with the golden tickets that are available, it's probably not in your best interest to go after a scrambler archetype by itself. That is a huge mistake right now. If you want to run escape artists, use a golden ticket, okay? And the reasoning behind that is because then you can sneak in, a pass lead elite, obviously with Joe Mixon, stuff like that, and then possibly have like a route apprentice or something like that on one of the wide receivers, make yourself a post corner, stuff like that. But this is what the card looks like. And just so you guys know, Madden has changed so much over the last year. I actually went on like a ridiculous winning streak with Bo Jackson at QB. I got to go back and find the videos, and I'll give you guys a link. But I was on maybe like a 40 or something game win streak with Bo Jackson at quarterback. But the game was totally different. And because so much emphasis has been put on escape artists, it's become like the whole target of conversation. It's being banned in certain tournaments. A lot of people won't use it, blah, blah, blah. But EA making it 14, okay, for the scrambler, that pretty much lets you know they screwed up with it, and they don't really want you using it with a passing ability. So what I'm going to suggest that we do until maybe Cam Newton or they have like a Travis Kelce QB. He might be pretty decent as well. And then they have, Cam Newton, Derrick Henry, right? We can probably experiment with it then. But even with them, I don't know if we want to use escape artists. And I'm going to explain to you now as I go through the offensive abilities and see if you can understand why. Joe Mixon, right? Although he's a pretty decent quarterback in the game, he's 6'1", right? So he overthrows a lot of passes just because he's a shorter quarterback. And that's something that's been going on for a while, which is why I said Cam Newton is probably the best bet. When I used Cam Newton, even without escape artists, I loved him. I just got rid of him because, the chat was like, yo, G, why don't you try escape artists? And then once we got to escape artists, I didn't want to leave. And then I ended up raid selling for somebody else and it went crazy. But ultimately the chat wants to see stuff, so I will, dabble in it. Because of his height, he's going to have overthrows regardless of fearless or whatever. Cam Newton at 6'5", one of the biggest reasons he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the game is because he's taller. What I'm going to be doing also, a couple of dudes recommended trying out the Derek Carr golden ticket. We'll take a look at that as well. But let's get back to the whole escape artist thing, right? If you go and put escape artist on this guy right now, all right, even for the slot when it's like 14, because that's a 15 slot, so that's not, where is it? Okay, so this is the scrambler slot. So once you give him that 14, what else are you doing? Right? Because you got to give him a pass lead elite. You got to give him pass lead elite. You got to give him something, right? Because if you don't, it's very obvious that EA does not want you throwing the football. It's like extremely obvious that they don't want any footballs being thrown if you don't have a passing ability. And the set feet lead is straight garbage. So I would have to say pass lead elite and then gunslinger, right? So say you go escape artist. If your offense is not predicated on running around like an idiot every single snap, this is not for you. This is a huge mistake. Does it work? Yes. Is it annoying? Yes. But you can do so much more if you don't use escape artist. And I'm going to tell you something else. Because of the speed of the players that you use, you can still double team block and block players and run outside the pocket without escape artist. It's just slower. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get that boost. Like, you can't really run straight down when they're coming in and do all that, that glitchy stuff. But you can run around them. You can still do that. The problem is escape artist is just really, really boosted to another level. So you can still run other abilities and have success. But you're going to need to be able to have an offense where, you can still throw from the pocket. And giving him gunslinger makes him good. But again, he's temporary. Cam Newton, all right? Derrick Henry, we're going to try him out. Like I said, we're going to take a look at Derek Carr. There are so many other ways to go ahead and maneuver. But for the meantime, I'm going to recommend, because these golden tickets are dirt cheap, and a lot of you guys are still pulling them out of the training variety pack, Gunslinger, Hot Route Master, Fearless, right? Why am I using these three as opposed to running around with escape artists? Like I said before, limited abilities on the other players, and it's going to be weird because if you play somebody like myself, that can pretty much contain, I can contain escape artists. So you're not going to be able to run around like an idiot. I'll come out and dime 2-3-6 and make your life a living hell, right? So once you get somebody like that, that's going to keep you in the pocket with escape artists, your players not having abilities can have real problems, and also there's no Hot Route Master. And what most people do is they'll either run bunch, like regular bunch, or bunch tight end when they run this scheme. Because then, some of them come with a lot of, stock crossers and stuff like that, because you need the crosser to be successful. Crossers and wheel routes is what this game is. So if you're not doing those things, you're not playing Madden correctly. So with that being said, with me using these three, I have a quarterback that can still move. He's still fast. Most of the time he won't fumble. He gets the Hot Route Master, and then he also gets Fearless. So it doesn't affect anything. Fearless is a must-have in this game, bro. Because you will literally throw some of the most accurate passes while you are getting sacked. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but we're playing Madden 22. All right? On the running backs, now you get a chance to put Leapfrog. Now, some of you guys always say, yo, G, is Leapfrog really that good? Like why are you always talking about Leapfrog? Bro, Leapfrog will have somebody rip their router out the wall and throw it into traffic. Okay? It's that annoying because once you leap, it doesn't matter what they do, you can't fumble. But it'll set the tone because then you can avoid like 3, 4, 5 players. With this and the spin move, I highly recommend it, bro. Because like I said, once I tried out the escape artist, I realized it's so much more to the game if you just, buckle down and understand where the other abilities should be. And like I said, route tech, this is going to win you games just by itself. He gets it for one, bro. You know what I'm saying? Put him on a crosser and you get a dude running any kind of zone or man or whatever. Once he puts his foot in the ground, bro, it's a wrap. So, specific players like Vernon Davis with the 1, that's cool. Ed Too Tall, Darren Waller, the matchup nightmare, it's more on him. But I'm just running matchup nightmare instead of deep outs now. Because they've been doing whatever they wanted with the deep out. I don't know if they nerfed it. They probably will nerf me. And then obviously you go for the post-ups for the cheapest. Robert Hunt gets it for 0. And then identifier is just so important. And then your other player offensively, obviously you give the matchup nightmare as well. We're using Colin Johnson right now. And the thing that's good about matchup nightmare, when I experimented with it back in October, it always lights up. The problem is they'll drop the ball. But if you have good user and you know how to possession catch, you know how to rat catch, and you know when to aggressive catch, it will help you catching the ball. Not only that, against anybody that's running sub linebacker packages, you'll notice they get wide open if you have them in the slot on crossers or whatever. So matchup nightmare, if you can get it for one of the receivers, I would probably dabble with that for a little bit as opposed to running deep out. Other than that, that's what I don't want you to make the mistake doing. All right, guys, just stay away from escape artists right now. We will revisit it later, but ultimately, unless they raise the AP, you really need to have other abilities out there. Because the game is so ability-based, you're going to be really hurting yourself if you don't. All right? As always, all the members of the channel, if you got any other questions, please feel free to go ahead and leave that comment or question or whatever you want. I'll see the globe by your name. If you're not a member and you want to join, go ahead and look in the description box, click that member link, and join the fam. And if you have any questions or comments, I'll definitely be there to answer them. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.